Technical issues. Oh boy. Freaking love technical issues here, don't we? Yep. My hammock smells like fresh linen or something like that. Is the music loud? I'm turning it down. I think it might be loud. Let me just do something over here. I forgot to mute that. Here, I'm going to clear chat. And does that keep the pinned message? It does. Okay, good. So, I'm giving it a little bit of time. Before we fully start. Okay, we are having more technical issues apparently with loading stuff. Okay, so we are going to open this up. Because it's music and I want to hear myself talking to make sure that I'm talking loud, because if I always like go quiet, I've noticed. I'm going in. Especially with the constant music. If I'm playing a game, usually I'm fine. I don't know why.
Stream Elements says, General_Amos is now live. Streaming writing and reading, chat and I write a book, part 1.
Text to speech is on for everybody. Oh, hold on. How do I separate? So I should probably say that looks like it's the same thing. What if I do this? That looks less like the same thing. I think that'll have to do. Disclaimer is also pinned. So, I think we all. Why is the webcam doing that? My lighting is not changing at all. Let me be perfectly clear. My lighting is not changing at all. It's the webcam. Hold on, let's see if we can get bats in. Discord kind of broke on me, so let's see if I can get it working again. 'Cause I feel like he's a good starting off point where because I want to. Huh. How did... We call him, does he answer? Best contributor. Hello? I'm streaming right now, and the idea of the stream is having people suggesting ideas for a book. So yes. Tune into the stream if you really want to see what's going on so far. Ah. Okay. Oof. Okay. There's something I'm going to have to tell you that I'm not going to say when I'm streaming. So there's something I might want to tell you that I'm not going to say while streaming as well. Yeah, I'll probably tell you later. Bye. I mean, I could... Hold on. How do I want to do it? I am actively listening for text-to-speech things coming in. What genre is... So... Yeah, hold on. Poll. How do you... What genres of books are there? I don't know if I have that many options. Frick. Making a poll, don't worry. There's no way in heck we're writing a biography, so I'm not including that in the list for sure. Anything actually history thing, I don't think we're likely to do. Do I think we are capable here of writing a mystery? I'm gonna put it on the list if you guys want to vote for that. I mean, we could do historical fiction. Maybe. So far I have fantasy, science fiction, western, mystery. I have one more spot I can put in. So what to pick? What to pick? I don't trust this community to write a romance novel. Because one or two things will happen. It will become satire, which is an option we can just straight up pick. Or it'll be somehow the smuttiest thing anyone has ever read. And those are the two options.
Arcane Duke 922 says, we would seduce everything.
Exactly. So I don't think I'm going to give that even as an option. I feel like everything we do is going to fall into satire accidentally anyways. That's too broad.
Arcane Duke 922 says, so you are starting with genre?
I'm starting with genre. Well, if you have other ideas like character names, I will put them down. But at the moment we are I'm setting up a vote for a genre. I think the last thing we can put on the list is dystopian. Now we've got the vote going. So as that vote's going, any ideas for because we could probably do a basic outline of what the story could be and then just adapt it later. What's the theme going to be, or the message? I'm imagining something like
Arcane
be yourself.
922 says, I like playing with magic systems.
I have hold on. We could potentially put that in. If fantasy win. Oh, wait a moment. Combining, we're pulling the Star Wars here. We can combine science fiction and fantasy. Actually, technically, we can combine all of them if we really wanted to.
Arcane Duke 922 says, beware copyright.
I'm aware. The idea is inspired by, not directly copying how the system works. We're not calling things Jedi. I'm just saying pulling a Star Wars because we just pull from literally everything. Like, I know we can technically straight up just use Sherlock Holmes because he is public domain. I think if we reference Mickey Mouse, it has to be the Steamboat Willie version of him. So like things like that, I'm fully aware. I will be
Arcane Duke
adapting as best I can.
922 says, talk like Yoda you do. Get yourself sued you will.
That we aren't talking like Yoda for a reason. I am pretty sure. Hold on, I need to actually like bookify. Not book. So far, I'm seeing too many things that are contradicting themselves. I can absolutely rig this vote. Hold on. I didn't even realize I could do that.
Arcane Duke 922 says, space magic could be obtained from space parasites.
Hold on, that's the actual idea.
Stream Elements says, playing games from my GrabTap page helps support the stream and earns you points for rewards. Check it out, backhand index pointing right, https://grabtap.com/general_amos.
I gotta love how when Stream Elements says it says like whenever Stream Elements pops up, it says it general, but any other time it says it the way it's supposed to. I don't get it. It's inconsistent. It's consistently in that one thing, consistent with how it reads it from there, but everywhere else it will read it properly, and I don't understand why.
Arcane Duke 922 says, different parasites could give different powers. Maybe the host has a shortened life expectancy.
Huh. I would also imagine like so oh wait a moment.
Arcane Duke 922 says, some might be magic based and some could be physical like claws or something.
I was thinking something like that.
Stream Elements says, enjoying the stream.
So like
Why not drop a follow for future streams?
so something like that. I misspelled parasites again. What is the poll at? Oh, it's 50-50. Yeah, it's 50-50. It's at the moment evenly split between fantasy and science fiction. How do people get? Is it parasites that are like how? How parasite?
Arcane Duke 922 says, put the lime in the coconut and shake it all up. Genre.
I mean, I have some like Star Wars is the best example of genres being mixed because Star Wars is science fiction and fantasy put into one. Um, Technically split fiction, even though it very clearly shows what is what. What else? I know there's more than just those two. Um,
Lethal Rubbish says, are ya winning?
we're writing a book. We're at the moment we're outlining it with the basic ideas. So far we have a vote on genre going on, which is almost over. At this point, it's very safe to say I can't tell which is going to win. Even though it looks like we are combining the two winners at the moment. The two winning. We could, because of the parasite, actually add horror to it, even though horror isn't even like. Okay, it's finished with 50-50. The top two. We could also, because of the parasite idea, it could be horror based too, where they crawl up
Arcane
through
Duke
your nose.
922 says, how they get infected can vary but think flood. Some people would be terrified of infection and view it as impure. Others would see it as natural and to be desired.
Yeah. So we are going. So we have. We have this confirmed.
Arcane Duke 922 says, you spell Sciencean. Arcane Duke 922 says, as since. Stream Elements says, enjoying the stream. Why not drop a follow for future streams?
I like how I didn't have to. I just fear it. So the premise is. I suck at spelling. I don't think this is a good idea for me to be doing. Theme and message.
Lethal Rubbish says, the message is why Baldur's Gate is a good game.
No. That's not the message. We do have copyright disclaimers on this stream. We are not going to be taking from Baldur's Gate that directly. What did, hold on. Is steampunk considered science fiction? So I have an idea.
Lethal Rubbish says, steampunk is steampunk.
It is a subgenre of science fiction. It is science fiction. So potentially steampunk?
Arcane Duke 922 says at @try the door within by Wayne Thomas Batson.
I did not realize that
Stream Elements says, playing games from my GrabTap page helps support the stream and earns you points for rewards.
I feel so bad for that one guy who said that one thing.
Right, https://grabtap.com/general_Amos.
Because he didn't. I somehow missed a message because it's just the same color. His message came at the same color.
Stream Elements says, if you enjoy the stream, why not check out the YouTube?
Okay,
https
my code did somehow text-to-speech mode skipped him.
youtube.com/@general77amos85.
It's not my fault. My chat's actually popping off
Legal
today.
Rubbish says, bad streamer, missing messages.
It's supposed to be in a queue. I don't know how it skipped him. It's still skipping apparently. I thought I fixed that issue, but it didn't. Is the guy who asked for the book recommendation still here? What was his name? Chuiquim? Chuiquim?
Lethal Rubbish says, do the parasites go into the body?
I'm imagining so.
Stream Elements says, enjoying the stream. Why not drop a follow for future streams?
Perhaps it's going to the skin to get the bloodstream.
Arcane Duke 922 says, I think the parasites would go into the body but may have visible parts outside the body.
Hold on. Because I'm imagining like trying to get into some body part, trying to get into the blood by a vein. That's how I'm imagining it. What if it like kind of Like that kind of thing.
Lethal Rubbish says, bro is trying to get ideas for his campaign.
No. I might pull ideas that I've already used in the campaign. That's why I'm like steampunk. Because I'm imagining now this parasite thing working with my D&D's train system. I would have to change up a little bit of how it works. Because this wouldn't be direct spell casting. But it'd effectively be something similar.
Arcane Duke 922 says, have the parasites attached to the spine and transform the host a bit. They can enter through the blood or other means. How horrifying do you want it?
As far as I don't know how far I can take it. Because I want to be able to visualize it when I'm writing it so I can actually write it in a way that's coherent. And I do plan on writing some of it not on stream and then doing most of it on stream. This entire filling this bit out I want to do on stream, and I want to get this done today. So this is good workflow here. We're not calling it Jerry's bedtime stories. So I did not read that one. I am so confused on which ones it does pick to read and which ones it doesn't. It should have. It's in the code. Why did it not read it? Huh. Attached. Okay, so.
Lethal Rubbish says, I guess Jerry shall not be named. Arcane Duke 922 says, if you have a predatory parasite you could have it enter through the eyes or mouth.
That could work too. Eyes is way more horrifying. But I'm not sure if I want to make this well. The eye thing is tempting. But I think mouth is safer.
Stream Elements says, enjoying the stream. Why not drop a follow for future streams? I'm adding the transformation being painful thing. I'm expecting minor cosmetic changes. Not just cosmetic, but like
you know, you also get the abilities. Is there? Is there a limit to how many parasites the host can have? If yes, what? Too many. I would like to think there is a limit. Yeah, okay. Yes, limit. What's the limit? What are the consequences?
Arcane Duke 922 says, if you need an evil army, the parasites could control the host. If Big Bad is needed, you could make a hive mind that wants to add people.
I'm writing Hive Mind. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go through with, because I was thinking like the Big Bad had a parasite, yes. But I was also maybe thinking he was pushing the limits of how many was too many, and he would have more than one. That's what I was thinking. I don't know if that's a
Arcane
good
Duke
idea.
922 says, depends on if the parasites work together or not. More parasites mean less personal control.
Actually, that's fair. Whoa, wait, whoa. That means if he has enough of them, he's more parasite than man.
Arcane Duke 922 says, normal 1, uncommon 2. 3 would be rare. Lethal Rubbish says, what if you needed the parasites to survive the world?
I don't. That would definitely remove the steampunk, which apparently removed itself. Oh, here it is. Actually, no, that wouldn't necessarily remove it. So, what kind of event would cause the hive mind, not that, the parasites to be needed?
Arcane Duke 922 says, ads.
Ads? Oh. That sucks when the whole point of this stream is viewership talking. The parasites can manipulate mood personality.
Arcane Duke 922 says, imagine a book with ads.
That's comic books. This legit, the most recent comic book I read, in the middle of it, has an ad for Marvel Rivals. I am not kidding. And with how this world is going, yeah, that's likely to happen. Wait, hold on. Climax. And ad. There, that's the climax. It's just just for my streams. Oh my gosh. That would be the worst climb out on. So the climax is just an ad for this stream.
Arcane Duke 922 says, ads are over.
Yay. I put a spot for all this stuff, and I'm not using it. Just move this. Parasite Hive Mind. I don't need that. And I don't know why that is there. Do we have a character? A main character? Actually, what? Well, main characters. And do we add romance? No. I realized what I was asking. No. I mean, I do have the final say on everything. So, before it Parasites could just be world building. Fair. I would like to imagine that the main villain has 3 though. So he's got
Arcane Duke 922 says, there is a big delay.
I will try to fix that for next stream. I don't think I can fix it for this one without resetting the stream for a fourth time. Because OBS just updated a couple days ago, and I think I can fix it because of that now. PowerShare. Fire. So I'm imagining like fire, you can breathe fire, kind of like fire in the hand, struck it. Is immune to fire. 2. I am sucking at typing. Claws.
Stream Elements says, the underscore word dragon just raided the channel with 4 viewers. PogChamp.
Thanks for the raid. Thanks for the raid. How's it going? We are here. We are having chat. Recommend book ideas and text to speeches on for anybody who tries typing if the code lets it go through. It's not working as well as
Arcane
I think it
Duke
should
922 says, individuals could have different abilities even with the same element due to how much the parasite has integrated and where it externally presents. The underscore word dragon says, how is the stream going?
It's going good so far. We started with nothing and we have something. We are currently working on a parasite. How the parasite system will be working in this world building exercise of writing a book. We are combining science fiction and fantasy for this. And this is just like I'm doing examples of like what the parasite could be.
The underscore word dragon says, that sounds really cool, surprised face.
So far it's going quite well.
Arcane Duke 922 says, space AIDS. The underscore word dragon says, I have to get some rest, take good care of these beautiful people for me.
I will try. Yeah, get some rest. I know how it's like ending stream. Usually I also have to go to work after I end stream most of the time too. So I don't get to rest. So you do that. Get enough rest for 2 people. Permanent claws, fingers. I'm imagining like some of the this water into weapon the fire people can also do, but it's like rarer to see. I like how I have the potential spin-offs slash the sequels here already, and it's like we don't really need that because we don't at the moment we don't even have a story laid out. I do think I'm thinking that the idea of the story should be something like young person accidentally found themselves with a parasite. Then there's something with a bad guy at the end who has 3 and is experimenting with putting a 4th in. So he's been going around. Hold on.
Arcane Duke 922 says, potential powers could include various projectiles, armor, various weapon protrusions, and ways to get around.
I was thinking something like telekinesis. Ooh, actually, I do like the one of faster movement. I thought of something that went, no, that's too Magneto. I'm gonna put when I just what I just thought something. Oh. A parasite can be a metaphor for social change. So whatever's whether it's positive or negative, change can help determine powers. I'm putting that in the chat's brainstorming section. How do you spell social again? I don't know how much of what I'm putting in is actually going to make it into the thing, but so far I'm liking this parasite idea. they... What? Oh, I have this open still.
Unintendo says, like zombie infections represent a sort of creeping social mindless reaction, the parasite represent an attempt to destroy society, and the X-Men mutations represent inevitable societal change that the powerful want to suppress.
So effective. I said too much like Magneto, and then with this idea, the bad guy is effectively a Magneto type. So, I see what you're saying. It's likely to work its way in anyways. I don't like how Google's like, use Copilot, and I'm like, I don't want to.
Arcane Duke 922 says, the parasites mutating could be a plot point. Maybe chemically induced or battle induced. Maybe intentional experiments to force the changes.
I like the idea. I can hold on. This is back and forth. I can combine those two things. It's effectively like the Captain America serum, I guess. Where good becomes great, bad becomes worse. That's oversimplifying it. So. So affect the bad guys Magneto and Red Skull in one. The setting is completely different, but you know, pulling from Marvel is something I was likely to do at some point. Seeing as everything else I've written, I've pulled from everything else I've ever read.
Arcane Duke 922 says, asterisk monster not master.
They don't host to be okay. Potential parasite without a host evolving into a monster that doesn't need a host. Like a big. That could be interesting. And then. Big monster. And then I like the idea of it's So it is normalized. So like, kind of. Some people are still afraid of it, but for the most part, it's like, ah, great. This.
Nintendo says, I just realized I might be leaning more on disease theory than intelligent parasites.
Yeah. Because the idea, from what I can tell, based off all this, is it's been going on for like a little while, but you know, you're gaining
Duke 922 says, question, are you thinking one planet as the setting or multiple planets with travel?
I think I wrote space somewhere, so I think I was thinking of interplanetary travel. I wrote from Space Parasites, so yeah, they probably got somewhere from somewhere using space travel. At least it's set up in the world. I'm not doing potential spin-offs or sequels. It's like planet names. Planet. I'm putting Mars for now. Why is it moving? Why is this bit moving? What do we... Okay. I wanted to primarily take place on one planet for sure. However, I do want the main bad guy maybe to be traveling between them. And then a plot, like at one point, the main character, who I'm expecting to be flat broke and can't afford to space travel, because I'm imagining that's still going to be expensive.
Stream Elements says, enjoying the stream. Why not drop a follow for future streams?
What if the parasites have a plan, but they don't share the plan? The infected? Maybe. That leans back into the hive mind thing that we mentioned earlier. That could also... I got rid of the sequel bait, but that could also potentially lead into a sequel. First one is dealing with the guy who's trying to experiment with multiple in one person, and then that completely gives up his freedom to them.
Arcane Duke 922 says, interesting idea, it could tie back to a hive mind and maybe the plan into terraform the planet to what they need to survive.
Oh. That's an interesting idea. And then because most people who are infected don't know about it, we can easily make it so that people still want, because they're like, ooh, cool powers. But some people like, there's something fishy. People... I like that the more this goes on, the more this turns into X-Men, but with parasites instead of mutants. Trying to stay away from direct comparison, but that seems to be what keeps going on here. I mean, the hive mind thing is not X-Men from what I remember, except for maybe one time. Well, granted, I could also just quote South Park and be like, Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it. I'm gonna put in my own thing here because, you know, I can. Parasites can read the mind of the host, but not well.
Arcane Duke 922 says, Star Wars plus X-Men plus Halo.
Yes. Yes, that is very much what's going on here. Parasites can read the mind of the host, but not well. Do we give the parasites their own abilities in because they can read the mind, and also that's how they manipulate the mind, but not great. Like they can get the general feeling of feelings and or surface level thoughts, not the deeper thoughts. So surface level thoughts. I'm gonna say be the change you want to see in the demon message. Because I'm thinking if a flawed person gets the parasite, but they are, I'm not gonna say good enough, but not completely corrupt.
Unintendo says, you can lean away from X-Men by making the groups less of an integration vs assimilation fight. Focus on how people use their powers from the shadows and, oh, crud, I just invented vampires.
Yeah, that's the... Everything's been done before. Everything's been done. I mean, to lean away from X-Men, some people are just selfishly getting them and not really going into the group. But some people, I'm imagining. I'm just gonna put it. And so then some people are in it for themselves. Actually, that's a. I'm like now thinking some. Not all of them need to be like. Well, some of them get like bad abilities, so instead of being street buffs, and it's not pause like you don't know which one you're gonna get. So the vampire-like abilities, the buffs of the like faster transformation into a bat or something like that. Downsides, sunlight sensitivity. Do we make them drink blood? I'm gonna say I'm gonna put in. So from the hive mind, I'm trying to think because I'm like, with the corrupted parasite, they will still want to find the host, so. So that one. Corrupted parasite, only one hive. So they're separate from the hive mind, and then they have their own. And that's where you'll get the vampire-like abilities from, is those ones. Not directly one-for-one vampire, but like the vampire-like abilities and weaknesses.
Arcane Duke 922 says, ads.
Ads again? Jeezums. I wish where I read chat from told me that ads were coming so I could snooze them.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, AIDS.
It's. I think the parasites. There's about a minute of ads left.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, what we doing?
We are writing a book. We are outlining a book. We're not writing it yet. We're doing an outline. We have parasites and we're working on how they work. So far. We're doing the world building bit. So at the moment I'm like, oh, corrupted ones, so they're separate from the hive mind. Not doing the hive minds because it's a hive mind who has a goal. And they're influencing, parasites are influencing people.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, madness, discard this card to then cast it for its madness cost.
I'm removing madness. um
The Dark Spartan 5 says, what we need then? The Dark Spartan 5 says, comrade.
Comrade. So at the moment we are getting world building with parasites done, which is the basis of the magic system. Because this is sci-fi fantasy, apparently.
Arcane Duke 922 says, where were we? The Dark Spartan 5 says, get a tumor, cast spells, got it. Stream Elements says,
Yep.
enjoying the stream. Why not drop a follow for future streams?
It's not directly casting spells, but some of them I am imagining look like casting spells because of how they work. So like, one of them can give you telekinesis, one of them can make it so you can just produce fire in your hand and chuck it and you're also immune to fire. One just makes you into a vampire-like thing. Because world building.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, so we're copying Stargate Glowls?
I have no idea what that is.
Arcane Duke 922 says, never saw it. The Dark Spartan 5 says, they infect a host to unlock their technical powers. The Dark Spartan 5 says, aka looks like spells.
I've never even heard of it. Like I said, everything's been done so far, because what we would do, like,
The Dark
the more we
Spartan
work...
5 says, good shows.
The more we work on it, the more it started looking like X-Men.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, other than universe. The Dark Spartan 5 says, it sucked.
The only show I remember watching that had Universe in its name was I watched an episode of Steven Universe and didn't like it. And people were, like, obsessed with it at the time, like, why? It's not that good.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, space battles were epic though.
I don't recall, I don't think I saw an episode with the space battle.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, no Stargate universe.
Yeah, the only show I've seen that has universe in its title was Steven Universe, and I didn't like it.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, the show is called Stargate Universe. The Dark Spartan 5 says, thence there's Stargate SGU, and Stargate Atlantis. The Dark Spartan 5 says, Atlantis is my fave.
I can say that at least this is not looking directly like that. This is different enough.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, it has Jason Momoa in it.
The way it read Momoa. Yeah, I have a gaming chair in the background here. And it's like when I got an office chair that I've been sitting in, I could switch them, but then I'd like if
The
I
Dark
was sitting in that
Spartan
chair
5
like
says,
this.
sounded like Jason Momoa.
Yeah, it did. And that's why it was funny.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, I mean mommy. The Dark Spartan 5 says, mommy. The Dark Spartan 5 says, I mean. Stream Elements says, enjoying the stream. Why not drop a follow for future streams? The Dark Spartan 5 says, no.
You already are following. Now that we've got a decent chunk
The
of...
Dark Spartan 5 says, I will unfollow now. Wahahahahaha.
No. I don't know if that would remove your VIP or not. I know if I time you out, that would remove your VIP.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, I don't know.
It shouldn't, but it might. Oh, okay, I may have figured out why some messages aren't going through. It's occasionally thinking some letters are not valid, and I don't know why it's thinking that. Anyways, back to ideas. I feel like we have a pretty decent basic outline of parasites for now.
Arcane Duke 922 says, were you trying to get anything else out of the brainstorm?
I was hoping to potentially get the basic storyline done to, like, the beginning, something that happens at the beginning, something that happens in the middle. Climax, like just a basic, here's what we are trying to get done. And then from there, that be? Also, I was hoping for maybe a character name. The initial
Stream
thought...
Elements says, playing games from my GrabTap page helps support the stream and earns you points for rewards.
My initial thought
Check it
was...
out, backhand index pointing right, https://grabtap.com/general_amos.
Max something. But I'm open to changing the name.
Stream Elements says, if you enjoy the stream, why not check out the YouTube? https://www.youtube.com/@general77amos85.
Yeah, so my initial thought was a Max something. But I'm like, I don't know how I feel about the name Max. Al, maybe? Bartholomew? Alex? Bob. Not Bob. A simple everyday name.
Arcane Duke 922 says, Gladiator Arena start, time skip back to see how he became a badass, back to the present to kill the big bad.
So, the beginning is...
Stream Elements says, enjoying the stream. Why not drop a follow for future streams? Arcane Duke 922 says, yes Bob.
Yes, Bob. Do we have a last name? I'm putting his name down as Robert. Gladiator fight.
Arcane Duke 922 says, Maximum Bob.
Maximum Bob. This is very, very quickly going to turn into a comedy. Maximum Bob. I feel like this is very subject to his name is very subject to change.
Arcane Duke 922 says, Maximum, goes by Max, Bob Reynolds.
You'd think I know how to spell Reynolds by now. So then... some point in the middle he gets back into this gladiator fight. Somehow.
Arcane Duke 922 says, Deadpool with space aids.
We need to tone it down on the X-Men, I feel. It doesn't help that the most recent comic I read was a Deadpool comic. And it's like fresh on my mind because I read it this week. I read it Tuesday.
Batman Expert 229 says, write a book about a boy and a dog.
We are a good chunk of the way into this now. How easily can we incorporate a dog into this?
Batman Expert 229 says, make him exist. Simple as that. Arcane Duke 922 says, dog dies and the boy evolves into John Wick.
Let's go. We have his power with his dog. Oh, do we want Max to have a parasite, or do we want to make it he's against the parasites because the parasites are a hive mind? He doesn't know that, but he doesn't get one.
Batman Expert 229 says, name the good Jeff Lewis.
Jeff Lewis is too common
Batman
of a
Expert
name.
229 says, dog asterisk.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Stream Elements says, enjoying the stream. Why not drop a follow for future streams?
I think it's funny having the dog named Jeff, because Max sounds like more like the dog's name. My immediate thought was I want to call the dog Daisy. And that is just because the family dog back home may not be living that much longer. She sounds like she is dying. At this point, probably has died, and they just haven't broken the news to me yet. Because last I heard, she was in rough condition, and it's like, you should probably have her put down, because she's not recovering. However, yeah, you know what? My story, my book, I am naming the dog Daisy.
Arcane Duke 922 says, you might need a material like kryptonite that is anti-parasite for weapons. Maybe Max has a weapon made of it?
Yes. What? Max never gets parasite. Oh, actually, because I'm imagining Dullahan. I'm gonna look up Dullahan and find out if that's actually a word you just made up or not. Because that sounds like it's an Irish word for something. It almost sounds like the drum.
Arcane Duke 922 says, sounds like a Vorpal blade.
I was right, it is an Irish word.
Batman Expert 229 says, yes.
If we're going to be making up materials,
Stream
I'd
Elements says,
rather it be a made-up
playing
word.
games from my GrabTap page helps support the stream and earns you points for rewards. Check it out, backhand index pointing right, https://grabtap.com/general_amos.
No, I'm not gonna.
Stream Elements says, if you enjoy the stream, why not check out the YouTube? https://www.youtube.com/@general77amos85.
I think we're dropping the good becomes great, bad becomes worse thing. I think we're dropping that. Max will accidentally get a parasite, and then that's why he wants the weapon. Because it's more of a like how Kryptonite, you just need to get it near Superman. I'm imagining something like that. So it has the potential, but it's like very hard to find. So Max.
Arcane Duke 922 says, if the setting is futuristic Earth you can use real names.
I am using real names for like people names. I meant like made of material. That I'm imagining also came from
Stream Elements
their
says,
host place.
enjoying the stream. Why not drop a follow for future streams?
Marzian. I don't know what I like about that, but I'm imagining now the Parasite host is on Mars, like was initially on Mars. The material that is poisoned for. So I'm imagining it's so limited that he has to go with like a martial type weapon, so like a sword or something. If you make it into ammo, you got however many shots of ammo, and then it's like rare and you just wasted it.
Arcane Duke 922 says, Mole Knight, moles to eat the space worms, for the kryptonite name.
Mole Knight? So, at this point, it looks like Max Reynolds here is indeed on a trip to kill the main one of the hive mind. So,
Batman Expert 229 says, did you name him after Ryan Reynolds?
did you? His name is Max. Reynolds is a common last name. Hey guys, excuse me if I will mistake in English. I'm just the average Italian guy. Feel free to correct me. Did Sustain say anything before he just said something here? Hello, welcome. First time chatter.
Batman Expert 229 says, nope. The Dark Spartan 5 says, Smith.
Smith.
Arcane Duke 922 says, you could also play with sonic frequencies as a weakness. It could be weaponized in projectile form and messes with the connection to the hive mind. The Dark Spartan 5 says, the most common last name in Yusofa.
Yusufa. I think he meant US of A. Do we make, before Max becomes what he is, it is sci-fi and fantasy mixed together. I don't know how Gladiator Pit came into this. So the Gladiator Pit is, I guess, going to be the culture of a parasite's hive mind. Their leader apparently is gonna like it or something. It's like the parasite.
Arcane Duke 922 says, sci-fi plus fantasy.
Yeah.
Senstien says, oh cool, I like genre contamination. Stream Elements says, enjoying the stream. Why not drop a follow for future streams? Arcane Duke 922 says, I spitballed the gladiator idea since you wanted a general direction.
That's how that came up. Okay. I knew that somebody in chat mentioned it, but I don't remember what. Okay. We don't necessarily have to make a gladiator fight. It could be hive mind base.
Batman Expert 229 says, is this book gonna be published?
There is a disclaimer saying that it will be. The disclaimer says you guys will be in the credits as the community, and the most have like. So the credits will read, thanks to General_Amers community, and then with the top contributors and what they contributed. So world building is definitely going to be world building Arcane Duke. Thanks for the dog, Batman for 229. It's gonna be I legally I can make it because you guys are getting the credit as the community. I can use your usernames, not your real names. But all the royalties and such, because I don't think it's going to actually sell.
Batman Expert 229 says, yes, doggo is besto.
Granted, this stream has been one of the most chatted I've seen chat, and I'm like actually really enjoying this. So this is like the most fun I've had streaming in a while, besides the Magic the Gathering when I had Dex's speech on then too. I think I just enjoy text to speech because I don't feel like I have to read chat. I can listen to it instead.
Stream Elements says, playing games from my GrabTap page helps support the stream and earns you points for rewards. Check it out, backhand index pointing right, https://grabtap.com/general_amos.
Okay, the parasite leader of the parasite. Vague Big
Stream
Monster?
Elements says, if you enjoy the stream, why not check out the YouTube?
Big Brain in a Jar?
https://www.youtube.com/@general77amos85.
How... Okay. I am only imagining that everything I'm imagining is worm-shaped. I don't necessarily think we need it to be worm-shaped. There can be the subplot with that one guy experimenting
Batman
with
Expert
multiple...
229 says, I got a pitch. What about one of the villains being a serial killer named Jeffrey Smith who is a target for Max, if he has enemies?
I feel like that kind of veers off a little much. I mean, I think we can name the already serial killer
says,
who's doing experiments,
stream.
Jeffrey Smith.
Why not drop a follow for future streams?
Actually, we can... Max returns to Earth.
Batman Expert 229 says, yes. Jeffrey Smith make it canon. LOL. Arcane Duke 922 says, if they are a brain in jar type then there needs to a badass bodyguard, otherwise big monster hive mind.
I'm imagining... Yes, bodyguard. No matter what. Even if they themselves are a capable fighter. And I don't think I want to make it necessarily exactly like a brain job. I do think I want to make the hive mind leader not the best combatant. So yes, they will have a bodyguard. The bodyguard will probably be the... Oh, wait, what if the guy who's trying to run experiments on getting 3 has been just that corrupted, and he actually did get 4, but he's now so corrupted he has no control over himself. So by the time the climax happens, like, he's on Earth initially experimenting, figures it out, in quotes, and then is sent up there. So he is the only one to have ever achieved 4 parasites.
Arcane Duke 922 says, ads.
Oh my gosh. So then that whole fight is with the man who has not all the abilities, but like, I'm gonna pick 4 for him at some point. I like how we happen to already have somebody who fits the serial killer thing. And we just didn't have a name for him yet, so thanks, Bats. I don't know why, but I'm imagining the parasites came from Mars. Now that we've established it's a steam. I've not established steampunk at all. This is just straight up not steampunk at all. It's just based on descriptions of what I make the buildings, though. I mean, if I were to make it very futuristic, it'd be all plain and white and boring. What if the future had more color? What if the future, because I really was so sick of the boring stuff that we got going now, because I just realized that what I just described as modern, it's currently modern, but we got so sick of it, it's all colorful again. But the color's starting to fade because of the people hiding from the parasites.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, who's the main character?
Maximum Bob
Batman
Reynolds.
Expert 229 says, what if from the corruption you spoke of part of it was rooted in him losing a loved one who volunteered for his first experiment, or something like that? The Dark Spartan 5 says, I like trains.
Technically, there can be a train. Yes. We can do that.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, yes.
Let me miscellaneous,
The Dark
training.
Spartan 5 says, what time period is the set in?
I'm imagining.
The Dark Spartan 5
30...
says, and is there an evil government?
We didn't think of government.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, maybe similar to Germany 1945?
My gosh. The hive mind has corrupted.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, hey, the Hitler train of gold was found not long ago.
Was that a thing?
The Dark Spartan 5 says, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Dream Elements says, playing games from my GrabTap page helps support the stream and earns you points for rewards. Check it out, backhand index pointing right, https://grabtap.com/general_amos. Stream Elements says,
So
if you enjoy the stream, why not check out the YouTube? https://www.youtube.com/@general77amos85.
since in space the newer colony worlds don't need much of a government, multi-planet, established planets could be corrupt with heavy government. Maybe.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, BRB. Batman Expert 229 says, and Dark Spartan was one of the rulers.
Do we?
The Dark Spartan 5 says, y'all be cooked. Stream Elements says, enjoying the stream. Why not drop a follow for future streams?
Corrupted government on Earth for sure. I want to mention other settlements even if we don't go to them, so like settlement on the moon. Hive mind is on Mars. It's not. I like. Hold on. The hive mind initially lived on Pluto when it was a planet. Then they had to move to Mars because Pluto was no longer a planet. It's fiction. This works. It just magically became not a planet anymore. That's how they viewed it. Like, okay, going to Mars. And then humans also wanted to move to Mars, so that's why. So what if Max's dog was killed by one of the corrupted ones, so that once the hive mind is defeated, the ones who were affected by the hive mind ones, all of them.
Arcane Duke 922 says, so right now Max gets a parasite for some reason. Big Bad is mad scientist. We still need reason for fight.
Right now, I don't think I have anything about Max getting a parasite. At the moment, it looks like Max, the dog is killed by somebody who has a parasite. Max tries to find a thing. Oh. So then he gets the thing, removes it, then trains a little bit. At the moment, the big bad scientist is the guy guarding because he successfully completed. I don't know how we get them to meet initially. I could put it like. Then.
Batman Expert 229 says, how about because they knew each other from a young age and it resulted from one of them stealing the other's cookie for comedic effect?
No, I'm doing it that the dog is the reason.
Batman Expert 229 says, maybe, the scientist killed his dog.
Not directly. I just put that in. The scientist indirectly killed his dog because of his experimentations. I need to, like, in the actual thing. So, like, he figures out everything because he gets a parasite, goes, this is not good. Does some digging into how to remove them, finds the man who's been trying to add them. So then he goes out looking for Mole Knight to then make a weapon out of. Hold on. Do we have him remove it before the climax, or do we have him remove it during the climax? Because he might be like, this may be useful.
Arcane Duke 922 says, so dog dies, Max begins a crusade, maybe mad scientist infects Max in experiment, Max goes on rampage, middle of story, maybe a resistance against government, scientist takes over and then we have reason for fight.
Okay, actually that could work too. So... Okay, so now they have... Jeff is the one who put the parasite in Max. Max then finds out the change of personality, which then leads him to discover, oh, that change of personality is what got his dog killed. He looks for the thing. I'm putting in the sonic weapon thing because I didn't put that in. So he's going to like He's gonna be tinkering with something. He's tinkering with some speakers just to establish that he is good with that kind of thing already. So that when he goes later to make the sonic weapon, they finally so junkyard important. Establishing he doesn't have that much money, so eventually he needs to find a way to sneak onto a ship headed for Mars.
Batman Expert 229 says, did the parasite give him abilities like John Wick?
The parasite will give him abilities. I think I might put the good becomes great, bad becomes worse back in. No, because he's also going up. The big bad evil guy is going to be eventually the good. Somehow. Frick. This is getting convoluted. So then, fading action, he gets back, and then he needs to do government stuff, I guess? So, we have the most about the beginning. We have rising action middle. So then, I feel like that could use a lot more work. Fading action. Max returns home. People don't know what to do, like on Earth, don't know what to do. Max becomes dictator. That'd be funny. Like this big thing about
Arcane Duke 922 says, scientist could infect the government as part of the takeover, and that is how the bodyguard is made. Max could be infected by an experiment that tests wide area infection of the population.
so instead of it being directly like okay.
Arcane Duke 922 says, Sonic headband to resist control by hive mind.
If he were to have that, would he still have his abilities? And I think he should probably come up with that in the low point during the climax.
Batman Expert 229 says, he would if you make its specific purpose to prevent mind control.
Well, I'm wondering because if it's like you completely block it out, he still has it in him, so he's not being controlled by it. His personality's back to how he was. Or that just completely shut down the parasite completely.
Arcane Duke 922 says, yes, he would have abilities.
Yes.
Headband just interferes with communication with the hive mind. The parasite is still part of the body. Arcane Duke 922 says, headband could be tech developed by the non-infected that make up the resistance. They could also give max weapons and training.
That worked too. Because I'm thinking he got the sonic weapon. He himself knows enough about electronics and stuff to tinker with it. And then in the final, like, he starts to almost start the final fight, then the hive mind is too strong and he can't quite do anything. So then he has to bolt. And then turn his sonic weapon into the headband, maybe. Realizing that if he gets himself with it at a certain frequency, it doesn't affect him, but it does affect the parasite. And like have the resistance currently working on something like that, so like it's not out of nowhere.
Arcane Duke 922 says, or he gets close enough to the hive mind to essentially nuke it and himself.
The story just ends with, boom, everyone's dead. That's too much like Star Wars. I'm not making the scientist Max's father. Cause I feel like making the scientist the actual big bad.
Arcane
I feel like
Duke
that's more personal.
922 says, he could join the resistance after Dog dies but before the infection to justify the Sonic tech. Why? Okay. Why would he immediately join the resistance, though? So I'm thinking the dog dies, then he gets the thing, and then makes the realization, and then that's why he would join the resistance. So the three things together is why he would join. So I'm thinking not quite in that order. I'm thinking dog dies, the parasite thing happens, which is what he because I'm going to imagine that the resistance has done some legwork to find out who this scientist is. I think. So I'm imagining if he's good enough with technology, because I want to like have multiple points of him tinkering on things, he could easily, on the fly, after making the headband, hiding away. Not knowing for sure if it worked, going back and then Arcane
testing.
Duke 922 says, an infected could be what kills the dog to start high personal crusade. The scientist could be the one to release a weaponized infected, and that is a reason to join the resistance.
That's kind of what I already have, I think. I don't know if that's clearly communicated in these notes, but if that's clearly communicated in the actual book portion of this, then I am happy with that. I do think in this future hive mind thing, I just realized we could make this an allegory for AI. I forgot where I was going with it, but I just realized we could easily make it an allegory for AI because some people actually have been too reliant on AI. If we change a few things, that actually could work really well. Because making it so that you can use the, like, once the hive mind's dead, the parasite is now free from the hive mind. Oh my gosh, actually I think I like that. I'm imagining that he's a hobbyist.
For 229 says, maybe the den could be like a massive egg rat serves as the base or operations for the scientist.
I'm imagining he wouldn't necessarily be a job thing, it'd be more of a he scrounges in junkyards and pulls old tech out of them. So like, so go in, find an old cell phone, and then fix it up. And then he'll find some, I don't know what, like, maybe he can be good with electric vehicles, and then fix those up too. Just something pre-established that he doesn't have to learn, so that he can use new skills and old skills in the final fight. It's like once the hive mind is dead, the people who had powers become more themselves again. But then they themselves also still have limited version of the power because the power is still alive within them. They just they no longer have the massive thing going on. I feel like this is a good start. We have quite a bit here. This started as 2 pages of blank stuff, and we've gotten up to 4. And you are in the wrong spot. What's the name of the planet?
Duke 922 says, then there needs to be a reason for why he can use tech to stop the control. If the resistance already have the tech versus the control, then he could already be good at adapting tech into weapons and help them advance that way. Arcane Duke 922 says, ads.
So, there needs to be a reason for. I'm saying the tech is being worked on by the resistance. I'm going to imagine. You bring up a good point. This is why I'm like have chatters in here to help contribute. The thing is, some people prepare.
Stream Elements says, enjoying the stream. Why not drop a follow for future streams?
Bass, you still here? Did he get hit by? No, he subscribed.
Batman Expert 229 says, do you have a name for the planet this takes place on?
At the moment, it looks like Earth. Earth and Mars. Just to keep things simple. Keeping things real simple here. Real simple with like pages, just how the parasites work.
Batman Expert 229 says, I thought of the name Zorgonia, but simple is good.
Yeah, simple is good.
Arcane Duke 922 says, and back.
Okay. What you were saying is, yeah, I'm imagining that he's good with tech and he can help them develop it, but it's by the time he's going to the final fight, I'm imagining he's gonna go with a team. Because, you know, the whole resistance. However, they couldn't get the blockage. Like, they get there and then realize the tech wasn't good enough. And then he has the idea of something. And the reason he's good at tech is I kind of... It's just, I like to imagine that he studies it in his, as a hobby and stuff.
Batman Expert 229 says, Mars Freedom Alliance.
I'm gonna put that down here. So I am realizing that he would probably be good with like specific types. Yes, that is exactly what I was thinking. So So the technology will struggle. Max will probably have to fight off some of his friends because of it. Because I'm imagining, why would he have a strong will? That's the actual issue I'm trying to think of. Is why he'd be strong-willed, but how and why? Find out.
Arcane Duke 922 says, or you could have the infected specifically destroy the headbands and he has to mentally fight the hive mind off to detonate the Doomsday MacGuffin. Stream Elements says, enjoying the stream. Why not drop a follow for future streams?
So, actually, yeah, the hive mind could. So then, at this point, I don't care how they're destroyed. They're destroyed. I'm imagining because the parasite host becomes a monster, that could be what destroys the headbands. Like they start struggling. The hive mind kind of gets them to start taking it off, and then the big monster just rips it off and smashes it, and then fully controlled. So then Max has to fight against his own team.
Arcane Duke 922 says, the bodyguard could destroy the headbands.
That too. Actually, they could kill a few of the big boys before they get to the hive mind. Before that, that's what will happen. So I'm going to say that Max has been a very self-disciplined person as well. My gosh, I'm pulling from Batman. No, not very self. I'm like, I was thinking things. I'm like, nope, that's Batman. Why is it so hard to come up with original things? There's nothing new under the sun. I feel like we're at a good break point, so I can end stream here and then get back to this later. Do we have a title for this?
Arcane Duke 922 says, Space AIDS.
Working title. We have a working title. We will likely change that. The scientist could be working on a parasite that doesn't need a host and why. I am confused about the space age comment. Scientists could be working on a parasite that doesn't need a host and is what they are trying to stop. Final evolution could die in a tank before it can emerge. So this doesn't involve the hive mind at all in the story. Or it could. Oh wait, no, the parasite doesn't need a host. So as he's working with the hive mind to immediately be like, yep, nope, here's your better thing. I think I figured it out. I'm not sure about that one. I do like the idea of the scientist trying to find a way to have more powers for himself by experimenting on other people.
Arcane Duke 922 says, scientist could be the hive mind trying to get rid of the weakness of having a host.
Oh, that actually I do. Okay. How the frick do I always spell scientist wrong? I'm imagining that the hive mind itself would be more powerful, so I'd say he would have more abilities. So that could be entertaining. Oh my gosh. And then.
Arcane Duke 922 says, once the scientist loses control there would be no reason not to add even more parasites to himself.
Yes, that is true. That is kind of why I'm like, if he himself is the hive mind, he's lost control. He could potentially have not every power, because I think some of them will contradict each other. But he will have a good chunk of them. But I feel like this is a good spot to like I said, take a break from this, and then get back to this at a future date. I might, once we switch from D&D Friday to Saturday, if that ever happens, that might be when I start doing these. But for now, I'm going to stick to, I guess, Thursdays. And do we want this to be novel length or short
Arcane
story
Duke
length?
922 says, this has been fun.
Yeah, I know. This was actually, like, I've had more fun doing this than I have doing the gaming things. This just maybe become my stream, not every stream, but a good chunk of them for a little while, like a third of them for a while. Because my chat is small enough, I can get away with having text message on all the time too. Like for everybody. And it works really well. I think I found the thing I like streaming more than anything else. So at the moment. Brainstorming ideas is fun. Anyway, I'm going to ending soon. Oh, hey, look, books. The default ones actually work well. Yeah, I'm gonna go get ready for work. This has been like a very productive stream. We got so much planning done. A lot of this stuff is because this is the first draft of an
Spartan
outline.
5 says, no.
Know that we're ending and know that we'll be doing this again. So I think it's a fun idea to have like, oh, this book was written by
Arcane
a Twitch
Duke
pack.
922 says, yeah.
I will say that a lot of
The
this
Dark
stuff is
Spartan 5 says, we're all gonna die.
You'll be fine.
Batman Expert 229 says, it is fun to brainstorm ideas.
Yeah. So next stream should be tomorrow. Should be D&D, Curse of Strahd, like usual. 2 weeks
The Dark
off.
Spartan 5 says, not if Batman wants me to be the beg.
Not in this book, you're not. In fact, I think he even suggested you being in the government, so you'd be a corrupt. You wouldn't even be yourself. You'd be a guy who looked like you.
The Dark
Wearing your
Spartan
skin.
5 says, LOL. The Dark Spartan 5 says, me government.
Yeah, no,
The Dark
that.
Spartan 5 says, that's a joke. Arcane Duke 922 says, dibs on the mad scientist.
I will definitely be having you write some of his dialogue. Absolutely, that will be happening.
Stream Elements says, playing games from my GrabTap page helps support the stream and earns you points for rewards. Check it out, backhand index pointing right, https://grabtap.com/general_amos.
Do I call dibs on the alchemist? Or does that make me lol? I don't recall there being
Arcane Duke 922
An
says
alchemist.
that Batman Expert 229 the dog.
the dog.
Stream Elements says, if you enjoy the stream, why not check out the YouTube? https://www.youtube.com/@general77amos85. The Dark Spartan 5 says, meow.
Okay, can somebody do something with an apostrophe real quick? I just want to see if that goes through or not. So I think that may be the issue. What am I doing? I can say meow can't and then it's okay. The text-to-speech doesn't like apostrophes. I think I figured out why it doesn't read them.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, hee hee.
I found the problem. A problem. I don't think it's the only problem, but that's a problem. If you put apostrophe, you're not going to be read out loud. So now I have code to fix too. I'll probably do that whilst I eat. Well, I could just put a thing that says apostrophes don't. Yep, okay. So you see it in the code.
Batman Expert 229 says, can I be the town drunk in the Alliance? Rolling on the floor laughing. Stream Elements says, enjoying the stream. Why not drop a follow for future streams? The Dark Spartan 5 says, why the drunk? The Dark Spartan 5 says, you speaking from experience? Batman Expert 229 says, no.
Yes, I'll have more rum, please.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, MMMHHHMMM. The Dark Spartan 5 says, LOL. Batman Expert 229 says, are you Max General?
I doubt Max will have a gambling problem. We didn't give him flaws, so next time we will be giving him flaws.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, bye.
Yep, bye.